Is this thing on? Welcome to Rebooted the Podcast. I'm your host, Alita Hernandez. Come join me weekly to hear about my journey from recovery to healing after having a stroke and other life challenges. So let's get talking. Hi, everybody. Alita Hernandez, Rebooted Mindset. Sorry, that's my original intro. Just haven't uploaded the new one. But anyway, it's been a while that I'm actually live. Right now I'm live at Studio 33. So welcome everybody. Hopefully if you see this in the replay, you'll enjoy what we're going to have today. Today is all about gratitude. And I have to be grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for the people that are in my life. And it makes a big difference to be grateful in your life. We have a great expert today. We call her the gratitude gangster. She's so cool. And she speaks Spanish too, so we might throw in a little Spanglish in there, just for other people out there so they can have fun with it too. But I want to be grateful for the people that are in my life. And I have such a big heart. I mean, my heart is so full for all the people that I've met in over the last couple of years. Not even the last couple of years. I mean, even the last year, it's just been amazing. I met some amazing people. And I want to show somebody that's going through something right now, somebody that I met, an incredible person. She's all about peace. And I had her on my podcast way in the beginning. And I'll replay that later. I'll put it on my page so you can see that. So my friend Regina is going through a really hard time right now. And I just want to show her video because I think it's really important that you see something that she's going through. Because it could be any of us. It could be any of us going through a hard time. Right now with real estate, especially for the older people out there, you have to be very careful. For example, I take care of my mom and my aunt and stuff like that. And I try to always, watch everything, the mail, the bills, all that kind of stuff, right? And it's very important because there are people out there that will try to steal. This is exactly what happened to my girlfriend and her parents. So I'm just going to play this video and we'll talk about this afterwards. I think it's really important. And Regina, this is for you and your family. And I do hope and I know pray that there'll be blessings and people will be donating to your cause and that we can resolve this. Okay? So here we go.
We might be meeting for the first time. And for those that don't know me yet, my name is Regina Ozeransky. I'm the daughter of Alexander and Yulia Ozeransky, a senior couple, both 75, who came here from Europe with a goal and a wish of a prosperous life. This year marks the 50th wedding anniversary of my parents. And in their golden years, for what most people might be one of their most beautiful times of their life, this, unfortunately, has been one of the most challenging year and a half of theirs and of mine. I'm reaching out to you today because my parents have fallen on very difficult times, as well as myself. And I feel like the burden of supporting and not just emotionally, but also financially, finding solution to a very serious problem is on the horizon and on my shoulders. And so I'm reaching out to my community for support and for love. And if you've already donated and contributed, we are immensely, immensely grateful. I know time is of the essence and I know your time is valuable, so I'll keep it very brief. Last year, my parents, at the ripe age of 74, lost the title to their home. They also, unfortunately, were taken advantage of, and that same individual who took their home also was involved in taking their whole life savings. And now, at 75, they are being faced, as am I, because I moved back in with them to help them when they both got sick. We're facing the harsh reality of possibly being homeless. My goal in this life is to help people find peace. As I sit here and share with you this very authentic and very sincere video. I am in between jobs, literally from one job to the other, having picked up additional opportunities so that I can help my family, in between seeing clients and serving my own community, working now 3 jobs. I am doing everything that I possibly can to raise money to help my parents, as well as support them emotionally through this very difficult experience. For those that have donated, thank you. For those that are considering, thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, I am so excited to be able to pay it forward when all this is over and when my circumstances and our circumstances change. Because I know what it's like to fall on difficult times, and I know what it means to have community by your side. Throughout this experience, I have felt so much pain, so much discomfort, and so much distrust. But the contribution, the love, and the support that I've received from community has been the guiding light. And I am so honored and grateful that I get to share that, because that is what community is all about. Doesn't matter how little or how much, if you're feeling inspired, please consider donating now. It means so very much. It means the difference between a senior couple being homeless or having a roof over their head. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate
it. So I'm trying not to cry because it hits home. You know, it can happen to anybody. And my support and my blessings to Regina and her family and everybody who sees there. I will put the GoFundMe link. I think I have it here. Let me just see 1 second, and I have it in my banner somewhere. I put it here. Here's the GoFundMe right there. Here's the GoFundMe code. So please look that up, and I will post it as well. And if you have the heart to donate to her cause, please do so. Okay, that's how we're supposed to do. We're a community to help each other out. So again, I pray for her. So to continue our show, I have VISMAYA sitting back here, and she's gonna come in, our gratitude gangster. Hey girl, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me here. Every time I come here, I don't want to sit here and talk. I want to move my body and get into and dance a little bit. So I'm going to do my best to sit here and not dance the show away.
Yeah, well, we don't have any music in the background right now. Usually, yeah. But so yeah, today is being grateful today. After seeing Regina's video, it was very sad to hear about that, and it happens a lot in South Florida. You were just mentioning that it happened to your family member as well, which is really scary.
A little differently. So my stepdad, and I've never shared this before, so first time, but my stepdad about 10 years ago, I was living with him, and I came home from work one day. I was still teaching, and he said, I saw him at the computer, and I'm like, what is happening? He's like, we have 3 days to be out. I'm like, what? He's like, we have 3 days to be out. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he says, the house was foreclosed. I'm like, how? He was a government worker for many years. I knew what he was making for his pension. He was fine. There was nothing, like, financially, he was able to afford everything. But he got caught up in these Nigerian and Jamaican scammers who would call and promise him the world, and he gave all of his money away. So I very much understand where Regina is right now, although the circumstances that led up to this are very different. I understand what it feels like to be in her position. And I saw her the other day, and her father, God bless him, is kind and generous. And I was there for a few minutes, putting some stuff on Facebook Marketplace with her. And he was just like, thank you so much for being here. And if you looked at him, you would never know what was going on, because he was still in a space of gratitude. So, if it's between a cup of coffee at Starbucks and donating, please forego the coffee today and donate, because this is a family in our community that really needs it. And quite honestly, when my dad lost everything, if it was not for community coming together, and this is also where gratitude ties in, because I had not yet been living in gratitude today was not even a thought at this point. But I was so cognizant of every person who stopped what they were doing, who, you know, my neighbor said to me, come on, let's go. And the second she heard, we ran to the neighborhood grocery store behind the house, and she was jumping into the garbage can to get the boxes because they had already broken them down to take them with me. So this was a very good segue. I had no idea where we were going today.
You see how it is? I just let God move everything, and wherever we go.
So, you know, she went to the garbage can and she jumped in and grabbed everything. And I had 15 people at my house boxing and packing things. And my dad's house was like Sanford and Son. And you could not throw things away. So if you've heard me tell my story about, you know, cleaning out his house in 2021, imagine schlepping everything from one house to another house. We got rid of a lot of stuff, but not nearly enough. But it was all of the help of community that really, every time somebody would show up, I'm like, thank you, God, another angel. You know, people offered me storage place, and I said, what do I pay you? And he says, the owner of the storage place was like a father to me, and he had passed away years before. And the guy who was managing it said, if George knew that I was going to charge you, he said, something is going to happen to me. He says, I can't charge you. It's yours. We would go to the courthouse, and there were lines of people because I was trying to get an extension for him because I was blindsided by this whole thing. And the lady saw us, the clerk saw us sitting there, and she says, come on, let me see what I can do. And she rushed us right in. And for me, that was also, again, a gratitude wins, this moment where I could say, thank you, God, another angel. And it just happened like that over and over and over and over again. And if it was not that for the help of my community, we still probably would have had half of our stuff in boxes or on the lawn. So if you can do $5, if you can do $7, if you can do $10, if you can do $300, whatever you can do really does make a huge difference for this family.
Exactly. And again, you said it's coming back to being grateful. And we have our shirts that VISMAYA has a store, and she has these shirts. She brought me mine today. I'm truly grateful for the shirt and for us meeting each other. And you know, I find everything there's a reason for everything that happens in life. Sometimes we have friends that come and go, and then some people who stay in our life forever, even though you don't talk to them. I have a great girlfriend, Tracy. If you're watching, Tracy, you know me. You know me, you know, you're my girls. I've known you since I was 21 in California, and we haven't seen each other for years, but I can text her now and say, hey girl, I need something. What's up? You know, like we always communicate with each other. So there's always a connection, you know, with a person. And I'm very grateful for those people. And for you, you've been awesome. And I still got to even learn more about you. So how did you start this gratitude mission?
So it started me. I didn't start it. So my mom was bipolar, and I feel like my whole life I have practiced gratitude, but I used to say I'm lucky. Oh, I'm so lucky. Things happen to me. Great things happen to me. And if you heard my backstory, there's moments that could be very sad, and people would want to feel sad for me. My parents got divorced when I was 3, so on and so forth. But I've always felt very lucky. So when people would try to feel bad for me, I was like, please don't. Like, that was offensive to me. So that was kind of my whole way of being without realizing what was so. Fast forward to 11/11, I went to this workshop, and it was all women's workshop, and it was very beautiful. And this young girl says, I have a box by my bed, and I keep all the things, my wishes and my dreams and things I'm grateful for. And every now and again, I look at it. Okay, fast forward again a week. One of my friends who never complains called me up, and she's like, everything, like she was vomiting all these things. And I thought, well, if you had a gratitude bag, and that was really how everything started. And I started creating these gratitude bags, which was a place where you could write down your wins, like who or what made a difference for you. What did I do for myself today or for others? How did I nourish my mind, body, or spirit? And what made me smile or laugh till my sides hurt? Now, that's not how it started, but that's how it evolved. And people were really, they were resonating with this whole idea. And it was before gratitude was like the big buzzword. And at the time, I was a high school teacher, and I taught ninth graders, inner city ninth graders, who, of course, if you have a ninth grader in your life, they know everything, right? They are the smartest people in the entire world. So I said to them the first day of school, listen, by the way, we're going to be keeping gratitude charts. And all of a sudden, their heads went woo and spun and looked at me like, what? And I was like, yeah, we're going to be keeping gratitude charts. You're going to come up with a list of 20 things that you're grateful for this month. And at the end of the month, you give it to me. And when you have those 20 things, you get an A for the list. They're like, what? I'm not doing this. You don't know my life. They're all mumbling to each other. She doesn't know my life. Is she crazy? What is wrong with her? Like, I'm going to lie. I'm going to make things up. And I was like, you can lie. You can make things up. But at the end of the month, I want a list of 20. So it was interesting because to see the things, that was my favorite thing to look at each month, quite honestly. And by the end of the month, or by the end of the year, as we got closer to the end, they were excited to give me their sheets sometimes. And they would leave me little notes like, thank you for making us do this. Or one little girl told me, she says, I realized that how lucky I am. Now, remember, nothing in their lives have changed. Their circumstances were the same. The school was the same. Their teachers were the same. Nothing changed but their perception of what was so in their life. So she says, I realized that I get to spend so much time with my family. Like, how lucky am I? And then I had two brothers, and they're like, since we started doing this, miss, we don't fight as much. And then I had another one who says, I realize that I matter and that I'm valuable. And that was kind of how this whole mission started. And the reason I left teaching was, if I was going to ask my kids to go for their dreams and their goals, I also had to do the same. So I couldn't sit in a classroom and say, be, the best you can be, and then be fearful and not do anything differently for myself. So that's how I left the classroom after 20 years. People thought I had lost my mind. Are you crazy? That's a good job. You get paid every week. You have insurance. You have a pension. And I said, yeah, but at the end of the day, I have to be true to myself and these kids. I can't sit here and be a hypocrite to these kids. They're smarter than that. They know.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome that something happened to you in life and you gave it back to others, and you realized the importance of it. And I know you do your gratitude, like a 30-day challenge that you do. I've seen that before. I try to stay on it, and then I get off of it. And I'm trying to get discipline on it because it makes a difference. I'm learning now. I really have never been a journaler. I have a hard time with that. So I started, and then I have little pads everywhere, and I have little notes all over the place, but I never keep like one. So I'm trying to do that and finding the importance of writing things down and things that happen in your life.
Yeah, I started that because I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of learning. I feel like I'm in a learning season right now in my life, and really learning and practicing and trying out new things, because gratitude is an encompassing concept, and we all hear it all the time. You have to be grateful, and we know how we should, even though we shouldn't should on ourselves, that we should be practicing. But how do we really practice, and how do we get into space that we can tap into that feeling of gratitude all the time, regardless of what's going on? And I just heard something interesting that I thought was very cool. So there's a woman I follow on TikTok, or not, Instagram, and she was talking about numerology, and she shares a lot of Jewish concepts and brings them to the masses. Or her audience is Jewish, I'm bringing them to the masses. So she talked about how the word for gratitude is modim, and in numerology it is the number 100. And she says, if we think about something, like if everything in our life is created by our higher power, call it God, call it universe, source, whatever word works for you, if everything in our life is created by this higher power, then if we have faith and we're a believer, then we should be grateful for whatever happens for that in our life, because it was directly designed by our higher power. Okay, great. Well, how do you feel gratitude when your parents are losing their house? Or how do you find gratitude when people are being sick, or your family member is sick? How do you find gratitude in that? And that's where the practice comes in, because when I hear people say an attitude of gratitude, I like, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I'm like, because what does that mean? How do I do an attitude for gratitude? I don't understand. How do I do that? But if you say to me a gratitude practice, I understand that there are certain steps that I can take, that I can do on a regular basis, regardless of what's going on in my life. And do I have time to share those?
Yeah.
So what I tell people is we all walk around with our cell phones. We're attached, to the hip with our cell phone. Set your alarm to go off every 3 to 4 hours. And when that alarm goes off, stop what you're doing, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, who or what made a difference for me? What did I do for myself or others? How did I nourish my mind, body, or spirit? And what made me smile or laugh until my sides hurt? And if the answer at that moment is nothing, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't think there's something wrong with you. Don't feel like you are a bad gratitude practitioner, or we get into the space of shame. No, take a deep breath, because you know that you're going to do this again in another 3 to 4 hours. And what happens is that every time you ask yourself those questions, you're training your brain. You're telling your brain, hey, look around and start to find those moments of gratitude. Find those gratitude wins for me. Find something that I could be grateful for. And it could be somebody coming to help you out. It could be a donation, in terms of Regina. It could be somebody saying, I know you have to pack up. Here's a bunch of boxes, or here's some extra newspapers that I have, or I've got an hour. Let me help you. But the key is that we're practicing. I don't say that I want to have these big bulging biceps and go to the gym once and then expect that to happen. It could happen, but you have to do other things to make it happen. So going back to why I started that 30-day gratitude experiment is because really there's an idea that we can be the cause in our life. Instead of just being the effect of everything that happens to us, be the cause in your life. So if you want to feel happier throughout the day, even though you're feeling maybe a little, crappy, or life is challenging at the point, what if you were to create your perfect day in the morning? And really sit into the feeling of, this is how I want to feel. This is how I'm going to feel at the end of the day. And then look for things. You're telling that subconscious mind to find those things, or find myself in those experiences that will allow me to feel that way. Does that mean I'm never going to be sad? Absolutely not. Does that mean I'm not going to have human emotions? Absolutely not. We are human beings with human experiences. And if somebody passes, I think it's normal to feel sad, or, given what Regina's going through, there are challenges there. So it's normal to feel angry or frustrated or sad. But how do we get past that to a point where we're not living in that space of anger, frustration, and sadness? And I think that's the key.
Yeah, that is the key, because I understand it more now about, like, I stopped for a second, and you can really, again, it's all about mindset again. So it's all about how you're thinking about things. So in the midst, and let me tell you, my life is full. I have a lot of people to take care of, and business, and all this stuff that I'm doing. And there are moments that I'm completely overwhelmed, and I do have to pause for a second. And then I realize I'm thankful for my life, right? For my health after the challenges I went through. I'm thankful my mom's still around, and my aunt at their age, and that I have friends around me. I mean, there's so much to be grateful for. So in the midst of all that stress, I remember all those good things and realize, what am I worried about? Like, sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves that I think, at least my opinion is, that we forget to be grateful.
So I think you said a really, I want to touch on something you said. You talked about when you're feeling stressed, you go through this whole list of things that you're grateful for. And I think that's really powerful, because what you did was you interrupted a negative thought pattern. Like, okay, I'm feeling this way right now. So boom, let's fix that. Let's shift, not fix it. Let's shift it, because nobody wants to stay in that space of feeling crappy.
No.
So let's shift it. But to people who have never practiced gratitude, there's a very big difference between expanding that space of gratitude and changing the neurotransmitters in the mind, which is why it's so important to go through the list of gratitude wins that happened today, and to find things that are unique to the process today. Because what happens often is when people repeat that rote gratitude list on a regular basis, And then they go, well, gratitude doesn't work for me because I don't feel any better. Well, you're right, because you're not looking in the moment right now to find those things to be grateful for. Repeating that list is an awesome way to break those negative thought patterns or to get out of that tailspin. But if you really want to rewire your brain and see the magic when life feels like it is the most stressful, or feel the magic when life is the most delicious, ask yourself those questions so that your brain is consciously and consistently looking for all those magical moments that happen throughout your day.
Because at least for me, I find that it shifts you. It shifts your thought process. And all of a sudden now you're out of that, I would say, victim mentality, because we hear that all the time, right? The victim, oh, me, oh, because so-and-so, oh, because my dad, my mother, right? I spent many years like that. And then realizing, what am I talking about? It has nothing to do with them or them. It has to do with how I process what happened in my life. And those things that are stuck in my subconscious, because you build patterns. So you have to reprogram the old programming. And what you do with your experiment, the 30 days, is getting you reprogramming to think about those gratitude things and change and shift how you think. And it's not easy. It sounds, I can say it, okay? But guys, let me tell you, I'm human too. It didn't happen overnight. It takes a process, and I'm still going through it because I still not journaling or every day and things like that. I'm not doing exactly what VISMAYA is saying. So I'm going to get there. But I'm starting it. I do pause because I catch myself when I'm starting to breathe, and it's like up to here on my neck, and I'm like, okay. And what I find differently is if you just pause for that moment, it could be a 10-second thing. Just pause, breathe, and shift your brain, shift your mind, what you're thinking. It will change your whole attitude. It will shift everything that you're doing. And you can make it through the stress and realize that fear, like the other day, I have to say that I wish I made a copy of the card. We picked a card at, on Sunday, we went to a little fair. So they said, everybody pick a card and then see what it said. And mine started out with fear. And basically it was telling me, embrace the fear, have a coffee and a cookie with it, right? and figure out what that fear is and then kind of move through it. Okay. And I said, wow, that's crazy. That's what I've been dealing with because it keeps coming up. And that's like I find fear is when you're worrying about something that you think you can't influence. And meanwhile, you can. And that's a whole nother thing. But that's again about the mindset. But the fear is something. So I'm going through that process that I'm like halfway there, but I'm still not completely.
And you'll keep getting evidence and you'll keep getting experiences to show you the fear until you're ready to say, I had enough. And it's so funny that we're having, again, this conversation because there's certain patterns that have been showing up in my life with people. And I'm like, but why did they do this? And then I'm like, VISMAYA, it's none of your business why. And it had to do with me. And I'm like, it's none of your business why. It has not, that was on them. It has nothing to do with you. And the minute you keep worrying about it and wondering why and letting people rent space in your brain and all of those things, you're going to keep getting more of those same kind of people and same instances showing up in your life. And then I'm like, okay, I got it, God, I'm done. I'm not going to do it anymore. And then I spend the whole afternoon going, and can you believe she did this? And then she did this and it's a tailspin, right? Until I get to the space again, I go, okay, God, got it. And I take a deep breath, like you said, and I recognize that this is my lesson and I'm 100% grateful for it. And I say thank you because if I want to stop receiving the same miserable lesson, I have to work through it and understand it. And that's kind of what I've been playing with these past few weeks. Because I've had the same situation reoccur. And we get to be 100% grateful. So I got it, God. I got it. Let's move on.
It's interesting how we get the hints and we get the signs, but we ignore it. And I've learned now to really, especially as women, okay, we have this other sense, okay, that sixth sense, as they say. And women out there, you have to embrace it. You know what I'm talking about. You're in situations and all of a sudden you have this strong, like somebody just spoke to you and it's like don't go that way or do this, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And trust me, listen, because I didn't listen many times, and boy, I wish I did. I'm listening now when things come up, because you need to listen to that voice and be confident with yourself. Trust yourself. And I think that's the whole thing about the fear. And I was reading about that, about the heart chakra, because mine's like semi-blocked. So mine's confused. Mine's going all over the place. And I think I don't know what it is, but I think I know what it is. It's just loving yourself completely and releasing that guilt or whatever you're holding on to completely, unconditionally. We want to love other people, but we have to love ourselves too. And I think that's where it's hard to love yourself when you've had mistakes in your life and you still hold on to those mistakes. At least that's what's coming on to me. That sometimes we hold on to things.
That.
Yeah, it's
I
like
was gonna say that. I was gonna say that the S word, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I'm like, shake that. You know what? Like,
shake it off.
And then do the hip swirls. You know, hip swirls. Our hips hold so much emotion, but I get it. Like, it's like the whole idea of receiving. You can't receive if your hands are gripped so tightly. You don't open them. And when we're holding on to that fear and that past and that anger and that want to be right and all that other stuff, your hands are not open to receive all this other beauty. And that is, for me, my lesson. Yours is about fear. Mine is about let go. It has nothing to do with you. If somebody wants to say something that's not nice, or get you into an argument with somebody that's none of their business, let it go, because it doesn't have to do with you. And shake it off. And the awareness, I think, is huge. Like, really. And that's where the experiment comes in, because the more we start to write down our consciously create our future that we want it every day, we start to realize, well, wait a minute, this is not in alignment with my future. This is not in alignment with what I say that I want. And you start to recognize it. But like you said, what do you do with that awareness? Do you push it aside, bury it down? Or do you say, okay, this is a teaching moment. Self, what can you get out of this? Self, what are you supposed to learn? Self, how do I let it go? And the more we have those kind of conversations and the awareness, the easier it is to let those things go. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. That's why I said I'm in a space of really learning. So I haven't been on social media as much as I was in the past. And that's okay, because I'm getting back. But it's about really allowing myself to be in that space of learning and paying attention.
Yeah, we're always in that space of learning, I believe. I mean, I'm on a daily basis learning about this stuff. And I didn't realize that you were off social media for a while. I mean, I see you every so often because you're my friend, but
I haven't been off, but I haven't been as consistent as I was in the past. For a while, I was super consistent, and I'm
like, she's coming back. She came onto the show. So yes. I got you back over here. I've been trying to get you here for a while, even though she loves when I have to do the salsa or the freestyle. She likes to dance.
I do. Oh my God, that time that we came here and it was freestyle. It was like 80s, like my kind of what I grew up with. And I don't think, well, I did sit down for a few moments, but we danced until I don't even know what time.
And I think we're here till like 1 a.m. or 1:30. We were here all night. We had a great time. We're planning something in October, so I will let you know with an artist. We're gonna have a live artist here, and it's really gonna be awesome. So especially because it's so intimate in the studio. Yeah. So with the artist, it's like it's VIP everybody, right? Because you'll be there with the artist, and you can hang out, take pictures, and everything. Not sure quite yet who it is.
Do you rent this space out for events?
Yes, we rent it out for birthdays, weddings. We do meditation, which we did already here with Sharonata. We do different things here. So if you're interested, Studio 33 FLL. That's where we are right now, and you can check it out. We're on Commercial and Power Line in Fort Lauderdale, and just call us, come by, and see the space.
It's very fun. It's a great space, really great space.
And then we have, just talking about that, I can interrupt for a second. We're having a comedy night coming up this Friday, and let me just see. I'll show.
Why do you always have these cool things when I'm out of town?
No, you're not going to be here again? No. Come on. So I have comedy. Our opening night is September 22nd. Doors open at 8. Show starts at 8:30. Get your tickets pre-sale on Eventbrite. We got 4 comedians here, all local artists, and our host is comedian Sino Evil. And yes, Mr. Sino Evil, he is blind. He had a defect, which we talked about on our. I interviewed him, and he's amazing. He does so much, and he can't. I don't even know how he does it. I'm really impressed with him because he is 100% blind, and he moves around like nothing, you know. And he's on his phone too, which is really it's really crazy. But yeah, we have that, and then later on today we have another show called Spanglish, and tonight at 7 o'clock we are live with New York Joe Salcero and Willie and Wiki Gonzalez, another salsero. So we do our Spanglish, Spanish, English with JC and myself tonight. And on that note, we also have salsa classes start Monday the 25th from 7 to 9. It'll be salsa. I think it's gonna be 1 hour salsa, 1 hour bachata. Because I didn't know that salsa is so difficult for other people. I didn't know that.
Yes, especially if you are not a Latina or
so. I didn't really. I mean, I don't have a hard time. I mean, I've never taken like formal salsa class. Well, I did a couple of times, but nothing, you know. I just grew up in my family, you know, back in Puerto Rico, and I would just follow my aunt and my uncle and see, what are you doing? What salsa? What is that? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and I just do the rhythm, and that's all I've done all my life. So when they start having me like count, then I get messed up. I can't count and dance. I need to just feel the music. So
I was talking to the teacher last time I was here, the one, I don't remember his name.
Oh, Johnny.
And he was telling me there was like 8 different salsa, like different styles of salsa. And I was like, listen, let's just get me on the dance floor where I can, you know, do my spins and then we'll talk about the second part. But super fun. I may not be able to come this Monday because of the Jewish holiday, but I'm definitely going to start coming because it's going to be
great. Yeah, the salsa and the bachata. That's why he's throwing in the bachata too, because he said bachata is a little simpler for people to learn how to dance because it's a kind of a simpler step, and it's more sideways instead of forward and back. So I'm going to take classes too and see how it goes for me too.
Very fun, very fun.
So we try to do some fun stuff here, and you know, we do salsa and the freestyle and the salsa night. So in between that we don't have events, we try to throw something in there.
Very fun.
So we still have some dates open till a few dates only left till the end of the year. So if anybody's interested, please contact as soon as possible because they are going pretty fast.
This is a great place for a holiday event, like a corporate holiday event. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's good for like 100, 120 people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know, it's a perfect size. You still got the dance floor and everything. So, so where can they find you? Wait. You're also a massage therapist.
I am.
Let's see what else you got on the list.
We'll leave it at that for right now.
Okay.
Actually, therapist. I did. I don't want to minister. Maybe my first wedding.
Oh.
So I was the officiant at my cousin's wedding, which was the coolest thing that I've done in a while. So that was a blessing.
Oh, I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Some people always want to get married and things like that. Sometimes they want ceremony and wedding here.
It was really, it was absolutely beautiful, and it was meaningful. It was beautiful. It brought people to tears. They laughed at the right time. So I was like,
that's great. That's wonderful. You married them, huh?
I did.
No, that's so cool. When you do that, you still have to go to the city, get the license, right? And then
I'm not 100% sure. Every state is different. I married them in Montana. And in Montana, I just had to show up. But I am an ordained minister. I have to see what's necessary in the state of Florida because I'm not sure.
Okay.
I didn't look into it because, like I said, I married them in Montana. So there was very, very lenient laws on what I needed to have done.
Right. I know that here, you have to get a license in the city, and then either you get married there or you take it somewhere. Like they give you the license, right? And after you get the license, then you can get married.
Right. The same thing over there, but as far as performing I didn't have to be a notary in Montana, so I have to figure out what I need to do. And
here, yeah. And I think you need to be a notary. I think that I know notaries can marry people. Okay. That I know, but I don't know anything else about that.
So I'm going to look into that
too. Yeah, so we can have some weddings in here. So a lot of blessings in this place, which I'm so happy about and very grateful. My space here, and JC and I have done a lot of work in this place. I don't know if anybody knows, but JC and I put every sweat and tear in this place. We've done everything here, from the lighting to the wallpaper to the furniture. We've done everything. And not easy. No business is easy, but grateful every day for the people that we get here and that we're having some great parties.
You feel the love when you walk in here. You can totally feel that it's a place of, it's calm, it's soothing, it's fun, it's pretty. They have my favorite is a sparkly silver wall where I can take fabulous photos.
Yeah, we got silver wallpaper. And,
it's a great space. It's a fun space. It's a great space. It's not huge. It's not small. It's just perfect. So
I appreciate you. So everybody, you can find, I'll put all the stuff for VISMAYA. So you can find Living in Gratitude. It's not the website, Living in Gratitude.
LivingInGratitudeToday.com.
LivingInGratitudeToday.com. So I'll put that in our post. I put your Instagram up here, so they'll see it on the post as well. And
find me on TikTok too. That's my new favorite.
Yeah, I gotta find you on there because I just got back on there. I was off for a little while because everybody was talking about TikTok. Don't put TikTok on your phone, and it freaked me out, so I took it off. I'm like, oh, they already know everything about you anyway. Like, really? Like, what don't they know about us?
Right.
If you Google my name, it's really crazy. If you Google yourself, boom, 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 all this stuff come out. I'm like, oh, they already know. What they know when I got up this morning? I don't know. It's just crazy.
Right? They know everything. Our phones, we have so much digital footprint that we don't even realize what we have out there.
Exactly. So so stay tuned to our more shows. Not quite sure who I have on for next week. Every week is different. I have so many different people that come up. I did another interview that will be on my other page on the Northstar magazine, an incredible musician. So watch that also on my YouTube channel and my social media as well, and our other show. I'm trying to keep track of all the stuff we're doing. So a lot of stuff, especially now the holidays are coming. There's a lot of things going on in South Florida. When is there not something going on? The billboards are coming up. The in Miami, the Art Basel every year is here. I'm already getting notifications about that. I always have tickets to Spectrum art show, so I have free tickets out there. So I'll post those things. If you want a free ticket, let me know.
I do.
Okay, and I can get you a couple of passes for the show. It's awesome. And
that's the one in Wynwood, right?
That's in Wynwood. The Spectrum.
I used to have tickets there all the time. It's super beautiful.
Yeah, it's all inclusive in like one place, and it's really big, and have all the arts, and you're able to go to the VIP night too, which I like going because it's less crowded later on. It just gets it's mayhem, and the first night is better because you have parking actually. After that, it's usually at now Wynwood. I'm not sure if they're going to do it again there because that's a big warehouse space.
Yeah,
but look for some things. I have a lot of things going on here at the studio. Again, trying to post everything. I will try my best. I have about 5 websites and I don't know how many social media pages is. It's insane. Always looking for interns, putting out there in case anybody knows anything, anybody in the college that's looking for intern on podcasting, on reporting. I got the magazine. I have a lot of different things I can train you on and mentor you on when it comes to technology and entertainment, because that's my thing. And as you know, everybody, I'm a former techie. Well, I'm still a techie, but I do all this stuff by myself. And finally got some help today, so I have some help. Johnny's my instructor. He's a techie too, so he's helping me tonight with the Spanglish because it gets kind of crazy when you're trying to manage and like 5 people on the show at the same time.
That's cool.
Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I'm thankful for VISMAYA for visiting us. Thank you for being here. And check up on social media. And once again, thank you again every Wednesday. I'm trying to do Sundays. I've been really busy on the weekend, so I do apologize. Sometimes I play a replay on Sunday. So if you didn't see it today, remember it's always on YouTube. It's always on social media. And again, I'll replay on Wednesday. So in case you missed it today, and get some other people out there. And don't forget to follow us, please, at Rebooted the podcast. Unfortunately, I can't change the whole thing. I renamed it a Rebooted Mindset because it's clearer. It's still on the Rebooted the podcast. Don't worry, you'll still find me out there. And I hope you have a great day, guys. And let me see. I'll give you my old outro until I do my new one. Actually, I'm going to do a commercial for Studio 33. Come celebrate your event and create new memories at Studio 33, right here in Fort Lauderdale, off of Exit 32, Commercial Boulevard. Call us today so you can schedule an appointment and see the location. It's an intimate setting for your private event. Call us at 954-530-7193. Again, 954-530-7193. Also, our website is Studio33F as in Frank, LL.com. And you can find us on all social media at Studio 33 FLL as well. Again, call us today for your appointment and come see our venue. We are filling up fast. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Rebooted the Podcast to learn about each episode's guests and topics. This is your host, Alita Hernandez. See you next Tuesday.